O Z Y W O M B Podcast. I'm Shan.
I'm Aria.
Say Ari.
Abby.
Welcome to Cozy Womb Podcast. Let's go. Hey, this is Shan, mom of the girls. Thank you for checking in. If this is your first time at Cozy Womb Podcast, welcome. It's a very random but frequently posted show. Enjoy what you can when you can. It's for new parents. Y'all are very welcome. It's for second, third, or more time around parents too. And I did not forget those of you who aren't quite there yet, haven't had your first kid, but you're thinking about it and you're just curious on what it takes to go ahead and survive the kids that you may make. Cool. Since we're all here, let's get into today's episode. Hey mom and dad, this is a episode that should only be for your ears. If your kids are around, go ahead and drop them off. Go ahead and put in your headphones. But enjoy the episode. Have you ever had like your mom or your dad make you feel bad for not doing something they wanted? Or have your parents ever guilted you into making a choice in your adult life that you did not want to make? That is what I call parental pressure. And I think more parents need to be aware of what their pressure can do to their children, no matter if they're preteens, teenagers, young in their 20s, or no matter if they, are well in their 30s. You will always be their parent, but sometimes you have to back up as a parent and let your child figure it out on their own. And some common parental pressures may be parents pressuring their children to have kids. Parents pressuring their children to go to college, get married, work in the family business when they really have no interest, take care of younger kids that the parents choose to take on, get better grades when they're really having a trouble in certain subjects, or they need a tutor, or maybe they're not great in mathematics like you were in mathematics. Maybe they're not the greatest in English, even if you're an English professor. Sometimes you have to take the reality that your children are completely different from you. Yes, you are the biological parent, but maybe they didn't get that trait of being able to deal with numbers in the best way, or being able to understand chemistry or finances really quickly, no matter if you're a great accountant. Some parents need to let go and back up. Some kids are just not good in sports, and some parents may probably be the best in a certain sport and be like, oh, you're going to play soccer, or you're going to play baseball just like I did. Maybe your kid doesn't want to play baseball. Maybe your kid doesn't want to play professional basketball just because they're really tall. You have to back up sometimes. Stop, making these unattainable expectations for your kids when at their age you probably weren't able to go ahead and make these things happen that you're expecting your kids to make happen. Sometimes the pressures that parents put on kids could push kids away. So that will backfire on, you having a close relationship. They can develop anxiety that you probably are not, looking at certain traits of anxiety because you're so busy looking at what they're not good at and never accepting the things that they are good at, never encouraging them, never, thanking them for trying, or being aware of everything else good that they do. You're so busy pointing out the things that they're not doing good to your expectations. You have to stop. The last thing you want is your kid not feeling good about you being a good person. Okay? They can secretly be angry with you and take it out on other people, or take it out in their relationships, or take it out on their children. You have to let go and back up. They can socially be awkward because you make them feel like they're not good enough, or you make them feel like no one should ever want to be around them because they can't measure up to the things that you want. Parents have to allow some failures, because those failures are magnifying glasses into like where your child can improve or what your child may be having issues with. You gotta back up. Sometimes you ever seen like a big piece of artwork, and in order for you to take in what's going on in that artwork, you have to back up to see the full picture. Sometimes your kids are like that. As a kid, I remember getting those I Spy books. And in order for me to find certain things on those I Spy pages, I had to back up from that book in order to see it. Or those 3D images, you had to back up to be able to see the 3D image. And you had to go in on it slowly. Your kids could be like that. Teach your kid how to think for themselves. The most rewarding thing about being a parent for me is seeing my kid think for themselves and come up with the solution by themselves without me having to step in. Encourage your kids to try different things. Encourage your kids to go for that job, even though they don't have 5+ years experience, but they're really good at, maybe graphic design, or they're really good at accounting, or they're really good at whatever it is. Encourage them to go for it. Allow your child room to vent and relax. Sometimes that's all your kid needs in order to get back on track on what they need to do. Maybe your kid may make choices that you don't agree with as an adult, but sometimes you have to step back and let them figure it out. Sometimes what they're thinking may be the right thing, despite what you thought. Try to have expectations with the understanding that your kids are imperfect humans and you made your mistakes. Allow them to make their mistakes. Now, if they're doing the same thing that you did and you already gave them advice, the best thing you could do is to back up and let them fall. Sometimes you gotta let your kids fall, especially when they're in their 20s or their 30s and they think they know it all, and you've already been in your marriages or your marriage for years, or you already been a father or a mother, and you're just like, okay. Sometimes that's all you need to do is say, okay, and just be there when they call. Don't let your pride get in the way. Don't let your ego get in the way. Be there when they call, and be able to apologize. Be able to hear them out about, how all the time you kept saying this, or you kept pushing them to do this. It forced them to do something they didn't want to do. Be ready for that, because that may come up. Kids have enough stress at school, in their careers, at their jobs, from their peers, that they do not need to be stressed when they come home to you. They do not need to be stressed when they come home to have dinner with you or come at the holidays. They do not need you asking them if they're dating. They do not need you asking them when are they going to get married. They do not need you asking them when are you going to give me, grandchildren. Stop. Treat your grown adult children like adults. Learn to back up, learn to mind your business, and learn to be there in silence. Now, as for your kids that are still living under your roof, gradually give them space to come to you with things. Don't go into their journals, don't go on their computers for things, don't speak to their friends or their friends' parents, don't snoop, because then they're gonna be like, dang, like I can't do anything for myself. Be selective about when you step in. Be selective about when and what time and how much time you leave for your child to come to you. Don't be ignorant. Don't be in denial, but just be open to receive your children when they do want your help. Allow them to come to you sometimes. They'll respect you more at the end of the day. That is my gist on parental pressures. Don't pressure them.